Aloha everybody, thanks for joining us. In this video, it is July 31st, 2020. Today we want to take you around the Iolani Palace grounds and inside the palace. Guests are not allowed to video or take photos with flash inside the palace, so forgive us for the in-palace slideshow. Go to www.iolanipalace.org for the schedule and to make your reservation, as space is limited and they fill up fast. The link is right there on the screen and it will be down below in the description. So Iolani Palace was built in 1882 by King Kalākaua. Originally, the gate entrances were 8-foot high coral block walls with wooden gates which enclosed the palace grounds. In 1899, following the Wilcox Rebellion, it was lowered to 3.5 feet and the present painted iron fence was installed. Each of the 4 principal gates display the coat of arms of the Hawaiian Kingdom and have a distinctive name and purpose. Iolani Palace was the home of Hawaii's last reigning monarchs and served as the official royal residence and the residence of the kingdom's political and social life until the overthrow of the monarchy in 1893. The palace was registered as a National Historic Landmark in 1962 and is the only official royal residence in the United States. After the overthrow, Iolani Palace served as the government capital building for the Republic, territory, and eventually the state of Hawaii. After 80 years of being used as a government building, it was eventually restored to its true form as the Iolani Palace. They eventually recovered many of the original furnishings and objects which had been auctioned off after the overthrow. This is the sacred mound. It is located southeast of the palace grounds. This sacred mound was once the site of the royal mausoleum. This fenced-in mound is to respect the Hawaiian chiefs who may still be buried there. In 1825, a mausoleum of whitewashed coral block was constructed to house the remains of Kamehameha II and his consort Queen Kamamalu, both of whom died of the measles while on a journey to England. For the next 40 years, this royal tomb and the land immediately surrounding it became the final resting place for kings of Hawaii, their consorts, and important chiefs of the kingdom. In 1865, 18 coffins were removed from this site and transferred to Mauna Ala, the royal mausoleum in Nuuanu Valley. I have a link to our walk there in the description down below if anyone is interested in seeing it. Kapu means forbidden. Keep out, no trespassing. This is the Oahu, or altar. It commemorates a sad and emotional time in Hawaiian history. Community members constructed this Oahu in 1993 on the 100th anniversary of the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy. This Oahu is constructed from rocks brought from each of the neighbor islands. Although not historic or original to the palace grounds, the Oahu continues to be the focus of ceremony and offerings. Behind the sacred mound is the Kanaina Building, which was built in 1906 and was the first building in the U.S. erected for the custody and preservation of public archive materials. It was restored in 1987 and now houses the administrative office of the Friends of Iolani Palace. This is the front side of Iolani Palace that faces South King Street. Although this is the front, the tour entrance is on the back side of the palace. Don't forget to go to the hale koa to check in, which is the barracks next to the palace. This is the Keliʻi Hale, the coronation pavilion. Built for the coronation of King Kalākaua and Queen Kapiʻolani on February 12, 1883. The pavilion was later moved from its original site near the King Street steps. More recently, it has been used for the inauguration of the governors of the state of Hawaii. This is the hale koa, also known as Iolani Barracks. It was originally completed in 1871 on the grounds where the Hawaii state capitol is, which is above Iolani Palace. This was to house the royal guards. The barracks was dismantled and reconstructed in its current location in 1965. Following the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy and the disbanding of the royal guard, Iolani Barracks was used at different times for different things, including a temporary shelter for refugees of the 1899 Chinatown fire, headquarters for the National Guard of Hawaii, a service club, government office, and storage facility. It now houses the palace's gift shop, ticket office, a restroom, and video theater. At the entrance of the Iolani Barracks is where you go to check in for the Iolani Palace tour, and they also will check your temperature, make sure you are okay. The wearing of masks is currently required. In the gift shop, you will find Iolani Palace merchandise, t-shirts, a variety of books about Hawaii, its history, legends, stories, and Olelo Hawaii books, which is Hawaiian language books. Also music CDs, some DVDs, calendars, posters, postcards, magnets, artworks, maps, and so much more. I don't know why, but I always loved the old postcards of Princess Kaʻiʻolani and King Kalākaua. Since we are early, we check out the palace's gallery, which is in the back of the palace to the right of the main rear stairway. The gallery tells of King Kalākaua, why he built Iolani Palace, and about the Kalākaua dynasty. There are some great photos of him in and around the palace. The three main people in the Iolani Palace tour are King David Kalākaua, his wife Queen Julia Kapiʻolani, and King Kalākaua's sister Lydia, Liliʻu, Loloku, Walania, Kamakaʻehe, also known as Queen Liliʻuokalani, who ascended to the throne after King Kalākaua passed away due to failing health while on a trip in California. When it is our scheduled time, we are allowed to go up the stairs. We sit down and put on booties to cover our shoes. Oh, don't forget, you should already be wearing your mask. And if you're watching this after the COVID-19 pandemic and you no longer need to wear a mask, then you are lucky. But for now, it's mandatory. When they are ready for us to enter, we get our self-audio tour device and are invited into the palace. Also, videotaping and flash photography is not allowed. As you enter the Grand Hall through the back door, you will see the back side of the coil staircase. As you make your way to the front of the hall, you will see the full effect of this Grand Hall. The large coil wooden staircase leads up to the family private suites on the second floor. The walls and the Grand Hall are lined with 10 portraits of the Hawaiian kings and queens that hang above decorative pieces from England, India, Japan, and France. This is a map of the first floor. Each room has a number or several numbers to listen to in the audio tour. We are now in the Blue Room, which used to be for informal audiences and small receptions. Matching portraits of King Kalākaua and Queen Liliʻuokalani decorate the walls along with other portraits. This rosewood piano is the most prominent furniture in the room. This is the State Dining Room. This room features a crimson theme with floor-to-ceiling windows, rosewood furniture, elegant Bohemian crystal, and Paris porcelain. A massive floral carpet covers the floor. Portraits of Persian, French, Russian, and British leaders hang on the walls. After the overthrow of the monarchy, this room was used by the Senate chambers, by the territory, and later by the state of Hawaii. In the hallway is the lua, or toilet, the restroom. This is the throne room and is decorated in crimson and gold. It is the largest room in the palace. King Kalākaua held formal audiences, diplomatic receptions, and state balls here. The two thrones were for King Kalākaua and Queen Kapiʻolani. They disliked sitting on them and preferred to stand while receiving guests. The trial of Queen Liliʻuokalani occurred in this room, where she was found guilty and imprisoned in an upstairs room in the palace, which you will see later on in this tour. We go back to the Grand Hall and head up the beautiful coal staircase. This is not normal. You would normally go up the elevator, but because of COVID, they are allowing us to walk up the stairs. I stopped to take a picture on the stairs and didn't know I wasn't supposed to, and was instructed to please continue. Sorry. This is the top view of the stairs. We are now in the upstairs hall, and this is the map for the second floor. This is the upstairs hall that greets you as you arrive on the second floor from your grand walk up the beautiful coal stairs. On one side of the hall is the king's bedroom, his library, and the music room. On the opposite side is the queen's bedroom, the middle room, and the room of imprisonment. We are now in the king's bedroom. This is King Kalākaua's bedroom. His bedroom was decorated with a mixture of American, Hawaiian, Asian, and European furnishings, and has an adjoining library with one of Honolulu's earliest telephones. Kalākaua was a big advocate of having the most advanced technology at the time. This is the bathroom in the hallway outside of the king's bedroom and library. King Kalākaua's library is where he spent much of his time. The king was fluent in English and Hawaiian, and the various objects in this room demonstrate his interest in modern technology. Copies of letters written to international leaders may be found along the electronic lighting fixtures, and a replica of the original telephone which is mounted on the wall as you enter his library. This is the music room, or gold room. It was a gathering place for the royal family who enjoyed composing, playing, listening to music and song. In 2011, this room was restored with the help of a team of expert eyes and more than 300 pages of documents recreating what you see here today. This is the Queen's bedroom. Queen Kapiʻolani's bedroom was originally furnished with mahogany furniture and red curtains and upholstery. Many of these pieces in both her room and King Kalākaua's were sold in a series of auctions held after the king's death and the overthrow of the monarchy. Many of these auctioned off pieces are still being sought after today in hopes of returning them to its home in Iolani Palace. This is the bathroom in the hallway outside of the Queen's bedroom. This is the middle bedroom, which I believe was used for guests. It is located between the Queen's bedroom and the room of imprisonment. This is the imprisonment room. Queen Liliʻuokalani succeeded her brother, King David Kalākaua, upon his death on January 20th, 1891. She was determined to strengthen the political power of the Hawaiian monarchy. Her attempts to effect change caused great opposition from the Committee of Safety, who later orchestrated the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy and the establishment of a provisional government with support from the American minister to Hawaii. In 1895, an unsuccessful attempt by Hawaiian royalists to restore Queen Liliʻuokalani to power resulted in the Queen's arrest. She was forced to relinquish all future claims to the throne and was put on trial before a military tribunal in her own throne room. Liliʻuokalani was convicted, fined, and sentenced to 5 years in prison at hard labor, which was later reduced to imprisonment in this bedroom for nearly 8 months. The overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy and imprisonment of the Queen was a great injustice to the Hawaiian people. This patchwork quilt, known as the Queen's Quilt, documents Liliʻuokalani's 8 months as a prisoner at Iolani Palace in 1895. We hope you enjoyed this tour. We wanted to give you enough information, but not too much, as we think everyone interested in Hawaii should come to the Iolani Palace and see and hear the full experience of its history in person. Okay, so that's Iolani Palace. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe and click that bell so you can get notifications every time we post a new video. If you want to help us out a little bit more, you can check out our Patreon page, and we also have a PayPal link. Thanks everybody. Aloha.